this new moon cycle is going to be huge. We have new moon in Leo and we have a blue moon in August. Stay tuned and find out what's coming down the pike for all of us. The Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to New Moon Musings for August 16th. So excited to be here. For those of you who are brand spanking new, keep watching and I will go through what this actual new moon cycle is all about and how to make it work for you. For those of you who are old hat and already know the drill, skip to the soul card and we'll get started. See you on the flip side. So here's how the new moon musings reading works. In the new moon, we have different cycles and phases of the moon. We have the new moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter or third quarter, and the waning crescent. The first part of the new moon cycle is the waxing cycle. So we have waxing gibbous, waxing crescent. What does waxing mean? Waxing is the energy of at the new moon, we are deciding what we want to work on. And the waxing is putting the action into what we're trying to create, what we're trying to achieve, a project that we're trying to complete. And then the waning part of it comes after the full moon. So you have new moon to full moon that is the waxing. And then the waning is the full moon to the next new moon. And it doesn't mean that there's no action involved in the waning. It just means you're more reflective about what's going on. You're paying more attention to what action was put in and is it working for us? And do we need to tweak the process as we are working to connect the dots and find the completion to that particular cycle? Each of these phases of the moon represents a different energy that each of us is experiencing in the collective as well as individually. So what you can do is watch the entire reading once all the way through to get the overarching energies for this particular new moon cycle. And then throughout the phases of each moon, you can come back and review each of those phases. Now, it's not an exact science. I read it as though we have basically three days, 2.5 to 4 days. So take the average in the middle, 3 days in each phase. But the moon is a bit temperamental. And so sometimes you can be in one phase and lasting a little longer in that phase. And maybe the next phase will be a little bit shorter. And, for your neighbor, it might be the exact opposite. So it's important for you to really tune in and recognize where you're at energetically when you're tapping into these. So check out the timestamps below when you're watching this reading anytime after you've taken in the full message and the full energy. So for this new moon cycle, we've got a new moon in Leo. What does that mean? Well, Leo is all about the heart. It's all about being in service to your fellow human. It's all about how can I make this world better? It's also about being seen, putting yourself out there, being in the space of the world and taking up that space and saying, I have arrived, what can I do? And let's do it together. So there's a real energy with this new moon around how can you put yourself out there? What do you want to contribute? And it's contributing not from your head. It's not contributing from your soul. It's contributing from the heart space. So there's a lot of connection as we're coming out of Cancer season. We've had a lot of feeling energy, lots of the feels. Well, now we're taking those feels and we are going to apply them out into the world. We're going to apply them externally. So big stuff coming through. So for our soul card, well, actually for our card pulls, I am pulling from the Starseed Tarot, Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey. And these are ginormous cards because I thought, you know what? It's a ginormous month. So let's have some ginormous cards. You can see I've got pretty big hands and these are massive. So I have to actually like shuffle them in a very different way. So we're going to pull a soul card for this. And then for each of the sort of the cardinal points, the new moon, first quarter, full moon, and third quarter, I'm also going to pull an affirmation card, also from the Starseed deck from Nari Anastasia. So we're all in with the Starseed stuff because Starseeds are here to spread love, to show love, to elevate our capacity to love. Ooh, okay, so our soul card is the shadow. What is the shadow in this particular deck? When we compare it to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is the devil. So we have a 15, which breaks down to a 6. And that's significant because 6 is all about harmony, balance, and alignment. What are we aligning ourselves to? And we're talking about the heart. What are we aligning our hearts to so that we can contribute externally to our fellow humans? And the shadow is inviting us to recognize that we need to explore it. It no longer wants to remain silent. It no longer wants to be in its own shadow. The shadow wants to be seen. Well, how do we see the shadow? We shine a light on it. Take your heart light and shine it on the darkness that you feel, the darkness that you see out into the world. Shine a light on what you want to have change. And it doesn't mean that this month all change is going to occur or that you have to rush right on in. Of course, Leo energy is fire, so there is that, I want to say that speed or that quickness or that urgency that we can sometimes, sort of find ourselves in. But the shadow is basically saying to all of us in the collective, pay attention to me. And if you're not paying attention to it, it's going to make itself louder. It's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. And what I'm feeling is this month, especially because we've got a blue moon coming up, and we're going to talk about blue moon a little bit down the road, but blue moon is an unusual thing. It only happens once a year. So this is the time to really evaluate what that shadow is, shine the light on it so you can decide how you want to either incorporate it, leave it behind, and move forward, or to become it. And yes, those are your choices. You can become the shadow. You can, you can experience aspects of the shadow side. Maybe for you, you've always been the good little boy or the good little girl, and you're sick and tired of it, and you want to kind of, let your hair down, spread your wings and fly. Maybe this is a time for you to explore what that shadow looks like. It doesn't mean when we are exploring the shadow that we are going to the dark side of life. It means that we are learning how to be more whole and complete. We all are whole and complete, but we forget that sometimes. We can dissociate ourselves from that. And we're all made up of the light and the dark within us. And it's up to us how we choose to incorporate that into our lives. So from a collective perspective, we are all really being invited to pay attention to this. Because if we don't pay attention to this, this gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, you're seeing a little tiny light of yourself and more of the shadow. And that's out of balance. So not that it's about a tit for tat balance and 50-50, but it's definitely about really paying attention to where the shadow's at. I also want to say to you that saying, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. If you are unaware that something is happening, something is coming up, how can you fix it? How can you navigate your way around it or through it? How can you maybe say, wait a second, I don't want that. Let me course correct. Let me make a different choice. So that is really, really important. All right, that's our soul card. So I keep touching my nose. I got cat hair up my nose. Mr. Neo was making his presence known just as I clicked the record button. I was like, not today. We can't do that. Mama's got to work. Okay, so our new moon, again, Leo new moon, it's on August 16th at 5:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This energy is going to sort of be pervasive from the 16th on through to the 19th. It's going to be very potent. And we're already coming out of the 888 portal, or the 887 portal, I think, I think it's 7 portal the 887 portal this year. So we're coming out of the energy, or coming off the energy of that 88 portal, which has been magical and wonderful, and all of the things that help us with that mastery and that abundance. Now it's about putting that out into the world. So when we're talking about the new moon, our new moon card is Two of Flames. This makes sense. So this is a fire, it's fire, it's wands. So of course it ties us into Leo. And Two of Flames typically represents direction. I have a choice. I can go in this direction or I can go in that direction. What direction will I choose? And I love this particular depiction simply because we've got the world. The world it's like the flames are sort of stuck into the world. So the idea here being, think bigger than the planet. Think bigger than your own environment. Think about the wider environment around you. Again, more about external concerns, or how do I bring more of my ideas, my service, the ways that I can help, can fix, can contribute, the ways that I matter, how can I bring that out more externally? And I'm feeling that this month there's going to be a lot of energy around making choices that involve more visibility out in the world. And for you on an individual level, that can come up in a number of different ways. It could be that you're becoming a little more visible in your work situation. It could be that you're deciding that you're ready to, kind of throw your hat into the ring in the dating world, and so you're going to be seen a little bit more out in the collective. It can be that you are on a personal journey. You've maybe been in a little bit of a hermit phase, and you're deciding now, no, it's time to kind of go out and speak my truth, or share some aspects of what I have received during this hermit mode, and share my wisdom and my knowledge. So the Two of Flames is really an invitation very much this month around making a choice in terms of how you're showing up. And I feel it's as simple as that. All of us are going to be needing, wanting, desiring, being, sort of nudged, gently nudged or forcibly nudged into doing things that stretch us outside of the box. What you want to focus on is how this helps you to matter, to make a difference, to make it work for you, so that you are contributing in a way that you feel positive about. The good thing about this Two of Flames is that it is a card of choice. Like, you can choose. It's not being chosen for you. It's that you're being faced with these two choices, or these three choices, or whatever it happens to be for you. So remember, this is actually a card of empowerment. No, you may want to you may want to stay in the shadow. You may want to remain silent or not be seen. That's not one of the choices. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's always that choice. What I would say to you around that is, if you choose that, what you're saying is, I'm not ready to stretch outside the box, and there are going to be missed opportunities, especially in this new moon cycle, because it is a blue moon. Again, it only happens once every year. So, you'll have another opportunity next year, but it's not going to be the same opportunity. And it might not be focused on what is in your present moment right now. So I want to say this also lends itself to a little bit of bravery. Step into your bravery this month and say, all right, even if I just stretch a little bit outside the box, that's growth. That is saying yes to the universe. And some of you are going to be, oh my God, yes, like I am so ready for, this past month to be over, or bring it on. I'm ready for a new challenge. I'm ready for something different, ready to grow. So, whatever it is and all the things in between, really just understand that you get to choose. Okay, so now we're going to our Waxing Crescent. Oh, sorry, I forgot. We need to pull an affirmation card for our new moon. Oh, okay, this one is the one that's standing out to me here. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. Okay, so as you are making a choice, you're also observing out in the world what is needed. You know, I think there's a Disney movie, find a need and fill it, something like that, or there's a saying out there, find a need, fill it. So you're being faced with these choices. What is going to help you to make some of these choices in terms of stepping outside the box is, what is it that I'm observing the world needs right now? From the perspective, okay, so let me say the world needs a lot right now, and you might be the person that goes, oh my God, like so many things in so little time, and how am I going to fit them all into my, little basket? What you want to do here is not overwhelm yourself. It's saying, in this moment right now, based on these choices that are in front of me, what is the best way for me to contribute? So simplify it, right? Like, keep it simple. This is not about overwhelming you, making you feel a little bit like, oh my God, like I'm not going to be able to do it all. And so sometimes that can shut us down, or you get into overwork mode. That's not what it's about. Observation is really going to help you to choose your focus, and that's what's important. Okay, so Waxing Crescent, August 20th, and that energy is going to carry us through to about the 23rd. And because of the new moon, some of the energy patterns are a little bit different this month. Some are a little bit longer and some are a little bit shorter. So just understand that it's not an exact science, and it's really important that you just really be in flow with that energy. So our Waxing Crescent is transition. And transition in this deck, in the traditional Rider-Waite, is the Death card. So transition is very much about, okay, there is major shift and major change that is occurring. And as we're coming off the Two of Flames, because you've made a decision regarding what you're going to do in this next cycle, or, in this next chapter of your life, now the transition has begun. The Death card is coming in to support you in that decision and in that choice. I'm also hearing that there's something sort of on a more global level, or countrywide level, or I'm going to say like North America. Actually, no, I'm feeling global. So affecting all of humanity. That's going to be coming up. And I'm hearing that it's an opportunity to not only look at something differently as a collective, but to also collectively make some choices in regards to what those next steps are going to be. Now, we look at that, sort of from our single perspective, and we go, well, how the hell is that going to happen? All of those people, all of those opinions, all of those directions, like that's part of the problem, is nobody can sort of choose a path and move forward. This, I feel, is smaller in the grand scheme of things, but it is something that, whatever side you're on, nobody wants to die. Okay, you might have some people that are like, yeah, I don't care, if this person dies or that person dies, because they're disconnected from their heart space, but they don't want to die, right? It's very rare that you run across someone who genuinely, truly is all about, yeah, I want to die. So I know I'm going into a dark place here, but we're talking about death. So death in terms of change. Things have to die away in order for us to be able to bring something new into the mix. So from a collective perspective, people are going to be on the same page about this particular issue. Now, whether the action steps that are going to be taken are going to, I want to say, be obviously congruent with that, as we know, we are very much in that space of shift and change, and who knows what the fark is happening. But it's understanding that even those little baby steps, even those little tiny microseconds where we do find commonality or we do find congruency, those are the things that we want to lean into more, because it's creating more of that energy and more of that opportunity to be out in the world in those ways. So I want to say, from that collective perspective, there is an energy of making change while being on the same page around what needs to be changed, and an exploration of how to change that. On an individual level, what I'm seeing here is actually I'm hearing the word ascension. Here's Mr. Neo coming to say hello. I'm seeing a lot of ascension. So a lot of us watching this, we're on our own, sort of personal energetic path, or our spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, the exploration. And this window of time, I feel, is very much going to support and encourage the expansion of what you're seeing and what it means to you. So deeper knowledge, deeper wisdom exploration. I would not be surprised if some of you even feel like the urge to read a particular book or to watch you don't know why you're wanting to watch this particular movie or read this particular book, but you're hearing it all over the place and in weird ways. And it's not necessarily a popular book. It's not necessarily like the New York Times bestseller list, which is why it stands out to you. And you're like, I don't know why I'm having this, like, where did this come from? Well, it's coming from source because there's something, a piece of wisdom in there for you specifically that you need to hear. So I would say to you, listen to those inner urgings, listen to the inner guidance as it comes through, because it's going to come through as sort of like an inspired thought, and then you're going to start to notice out in the world at large that you're hearing people talk about it, or you're seeing an advertisement for it, or you go buy a used bookstore and you're walking along and it's in the used book bin on the outside of the store. So pay attention to the signs, because I feel like there's some significance there. All right, so now we have our first quarter moon. This is August 24th to the 27th. And the first quarter moon, I feel, is going to, because we are still in that waxing phase, we're still very much in that, I want to say, in the energy of movement and working towards putting a lot of the energy and focus into what we're creating. Sorry for the earthquake. What I'm feeling with that first quarter moon is kind of like the observation, affirmation that we got, that there's going to be an importance to taking a step back before you are deciding on a path. Because what I'm hearing is when you decide on a path, or when you take a step forward, it's like things get accelerated. So take the time to really make sure, okay, whatever this next step is that I'm taking, it is what I want to do, or I'm confident, or I'm committed to it. I've got what I need to be able to do it. If you don't, I feel like, not that the choice you make is wrong, but if there's a bit of doubt there or a little uncertainty around it, you could very easily feel like you're completely out of control, spinning out of control, because once you go, you're on. It's on like Donkey Kong. So be very cautious about that when you are getting ready to move forward. So let's see what our card is. Oh, interesting. So this is Reason. And in this deck, Reason is the Emperor. So I was going to say it's the Hierophant because it looks a little bit like the Hierophant, but it's not. It's actually the Emperor. So what is the Emperor in the traditional tarot? It is the divine masculine. It is, I can be a benevolent ruler or I can be a tyrannical ruler, but I am a ruler and I don't need anybody's permission to decide what needs to happen. I decide it and it is decreed and it is so. And everyone jumps to that particular tune. Now, this particular depiction, it's reason. So what is your reason? What is your why? And I feel like this really ties into what I was getting about sort of observing or taking a step back and just kind of like measure twice, cut once kind of energy. All right, mister. Yeah, I see you. Everybody sees you. So beautiful. Okay. So definitely feeling here like that, taking that little bit of time is helping you very much to feel confident about what you're committing to. What is my reason? What is my why? And I'm going to say to you, if you don't know what your why is around these choices that you're making, you really need to take a step back and find it out. Not take 10 years to find it out, not take 10 months to find it out. It's taking 10 minutes to find it out, or maybe 10 hours to find it out. But ultimately, you are going to need to make that choice. You're going to need to commit. This is, I feel, very much an energy of action. It's a card of action. And, you know, after the transition card, you are in transition, and that transition is going, right? It's going. And like I said, with the shadow card, with our soul card, you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity that all of this is bringing to you. So what is your reason? What is your why? Of course, reason in this also means, you know, I have reason, I have cause to do these things. I'm being reasonable as a dictator, or, you know, as the emperor of my world. But what I'm feeling here is, what is your why? So really pay attention to what your why is. Again, I cannot emphasize enough that this is not a situation where you're going to, well, you can say no to all of it, but you'll miss the boat. You'll miss the opportunity. But if you, whatever you do commit to, it's going to go fast. It's going to manifest quickly. You're going to be in a space of working, you know, being thrown into the fire kind of thing. And you got to be prepared for that. All right, so let's pull an affirmation card. Hi, Fuzzy. Yes, you're so handsome. Everybody thinks so. So our affirmation card is light. It is time to reveal your radiant light to the world. Okay, so when we're talking about reason, what is my why? It's because this is what's happening. You will be shining your light. And isn't that what we just talked about with the Leo new moon? This energy is all about, I am being seen. I matter. And I get to choose how I contribute. My light is shining, so how do I want it to shine? How do I want it to be represented in my world? Okay, Waning Gibbous. August 28th and 29th. As I said before, there's a lot of fluidity with the timings of these segments, of these phases of the moon this month. So 2 kind of more potent days, 48 hours-ish, that you can work on this energy. All right, I was wondering if this one was going to come up. Master of Flames. So Master of Flames is a King of Wands, and makes total sense when we're talking about the Leo energy. And I feel very much that this card is really referring to where you're at in terms of that confidence level. You've just discovered your why, and now it's about, okay, if I know my why, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing stopping me. But I'm also being, I've got lots of passion, but I'm also being pragmatic. The word I'm hearing is pragmatic. And interesting, pragmatism is really connected a little bit more to the Master of Swords, King of Swords. But I'm hearing some pragmatism. And the pragmatism is coming up because in this particular window, there's a lot of, I want to say, there's going to be so much. You're going to be like, okay, I made this choice, and now, like I said, things are going to move fast, and you're going to be like, oh my God, it's like a whirling dervish of choice or of chaos. How do I navigate this? How do I pinpoint? I'm seeing Harry Potter in the scene with the keys. When he's got to hang on to the particular key, he's got to figure out which key there is because there's a million different keys, right? That's going to be what it's like. But you want to remember, wait a second, I'm the master of this game. And using my intuition and using my soul space to guide my path, even though we are talking about heart and there's a lot of heart in here, I'm actually using my soul space right now to keep my eye on the prize. And because my soul space knows what that eye on the prize is, my heart space is going to enact that soul's wishes. You know, that's what the heart is there to do. My heart feels into it, gets excited and says, yes, this is how we're going to implement it. But my soul is the initiation for that. So I feel like there's a little heart and soul in this particular time frame. And it really is for you about thinking, recognizing, feeling into, I am going to be seen and heard. I am stretching outside the box, my particular box, but I'm doing it with a lot of confidence because I've kept my eye on the prize. And so as a result of that, I don't have to be nervous about what I'm putting out there, what I'm contributing, how things are shifting and changing for me. I don't have to worry about any of that at all because I got everything I need within me. So I feel like this particular window of time that you're going to be dealing with is really about boosting your confidence, or for some of you, reminding you about what you're here to do, why you're here to do it, and that you got everything you need to do it. So I'm going to say relying on your own heart and soul, knowing, and then trusting that the universe is going to bring to you externally people who are going to help you to bring that out into the world. So again, very much an external month, but there's still some internal work that's being done. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we are up to our full moon, and our full moon is August 30th. And again, it is a blue moon, and it's in Pisces. It's a Pisces blue moon. It's happening at 9:36 p.m. So this is a time when everybody can watch this beautiful blue moon, which is also a super moon. Let's talk a little bit about Pisces. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. It's considered the oldest, sort of sign of the zodiac. It is the most I want to say the most intuitive, sort of psychic, the realm of the dreams, the realm of illusions, very much in the feels of things, and sometimes can be not over feeling, but sometimes it feels like that, like there's a rush. We think of water, right? It's a water sign, so there's a rush of water. And it's the opposite element to fire, to Leo. So I want to say it's going to bring about a little bit of that balance that I mentioned a little earlier. Going to not cool things off, but I want to say keep that Leo energy from burning itself out and not giving it a rest, but giving it support, carrying it. The flame can be carried along the water for a particular period of time. And it's just a little bit of a cooling so that fire can recharge itself and rebuild itself. So full moon's going to be really powerful. And we got the tower. So tower often is, everybody is dun dun dun, but when we look at it realistically, it's about a shift in perspective. It's about clearing away things that are no longer serving, and it makes a lot of sense. We've already had the death card because we're choosing a new path. And when we choose a path, other things need to fall to the wayside in order for us to be able to build that new thing that's happening. Full moon energy this month is basically going to wash away everything and anything that is not going to help you to connect to your why and to build your why. As I said, once you make that choice, that commitment, things are moving quickly. This is what it is. Now, I don't want to scare everyone. I don't feel like this is a complete rug being pulled out from under you situation, but I will say to you that there is going to be a sense of urgency. So when you are receiving divine guidance, when you are receiving intuition, I want to say you need to act on it right away, because the intuition is coming to try and help you mitigate or navigate what is being burned away, blown away, washed away, cleared away. Keep in mind, it's all happening for you because it's clearing the path for that new choice, that new commitment to come into fruition. But it's going to happen fast. So I want to say hang on to your hats with this. Now, this particular depiction is a little bit on the darker side. We've got the lightning strike, the lightning bolt coming down, hitting the tower, and there are a number of fires, and you've got someone who is... So I want to say to you, most of the time we see people falling out of the tower. What I'm seeing with this image is it's almost like he's doing a Spider-Man down the wall. So I don't know exactly why I'm getting that image, but what I want to say to you is it's understanding that if he's doing a Spider-Man down the wall, he's making a purposeful choice to save himself, to remove himself from the uncontrollable fire, from things that he can't control. And he's having to put a lot of work into how he's saving himself. He's getting creative. It's pretty daring. It's a risk. But I want to, and yes, he could fall, but I want to say to you, I feel like the creativity in the ingenuity and the desire to save yourself, to get away from all of the chaos and go into a space where you're going to feel that you can regroup or get a better picture or a handle on what's going on, is what's going to be rewarded. This is not the universe saying, I've brought you to the edge of the cliff to throw you off it. This is the universe saying, this has to be done. We have to clear this out. And let me show you, we're clearing all of this because this is coming into the mix and we have to have room for it. And look at how amazing it is. And you're going to appreciate it so much more because you chose it and you committed to it. You saved yourself from the burning away of things. And what does that mean? Sometimes we hang on to things way too long. And because we're hanging on to it, the change, the shift becomes so much more painful. So full moon is going to really invite us to go into a clearing. It can be emotionally pretty jarring, I'm hearing, but I'm also feeling like you want to look at it from an empowered perspective of, well, this means because it's happening in this way and during this time. On the flip side, there's going to be something really exciting and it's going to come to fruition much more quickly. So I just need to kind of hang on to my hat for this and I'll move through it and I'm open to receiving the next steps. Strength. You are a being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. Well, shit. I couldn't have picked it better myself. That's exactly what this tower is about. It's saying, hang on. You've got the strength because better things are coming. So don't despair. Don't despair. This is all happening for a reason and it's happening for you. And you've chosen it. So you're seeing it, you're witnessing it. And I feel like that's going to be the way it is for a lot of us as well as we're going through this, is we're recognizing I'm seeing what's falling away and I totally get it. And because I totally get it, yeah, I'm not thrilled about it or it's not super comfortable necessarily, but I'm not afraid. And I feel like that's really significant, not being afraid of it. Okay, so now we've got our Waning Gibbous, September 3rd through the 5th, and this is now sort of the easing off of things, more reflective energy. It doesn't mean action isn't happening. It just means you're kind of wrapping some things up. You're reviewing and evaluating what has transpired and sort of making some plans for how you're moving forward, what has worked and what needs to go. And we've got the Four of Orbs, Four of Swords. What an absolutely perfect card to get after the Tower. Four of Swords is a card of rest. It says just take a break. Take a load off. Get out of your head for a little bit. Get into your heart space. Have a little bit of fun. Relax. Rejuvenate. You've already done a lot of the work. It's time to take a breath and to recharge the body. There's stuff that's going to come down the road, but you can evaluate. And 4 is foundational. It's also the work and the effort that goes into what you're creating or what you're building. And I feel like the effort here right now is more in rest, not even in reflection. It's in rest. We can see here that this guy is meditating while he's sitting in the water. Again, we're coming off of a Pisces supermoon. So the water now is helping us to not burn our firelight out. We've been putting a lot of fire in, including the Tower is big fire energy. And now the Four of Orbs is coming through, the Four of Swords coming through to say, whoosh, that fire is out for a little while. It's just recharging. So take advantage of that. I feel like these few days, again, September 3rd through the 5th, these few days are going to be perfect times for you to take a vacation, take a couple of extra days where you don't have a lot of stuff that you are planning. This is not a time for go, go, go. This is a time for sit, breathe, be, and enjoy the being. That's what we need to focus on. Okay, now we've got our third quarter, and our third quarter moon is on September 6th. It's going carrying through from about the 6th to the 9th, and really feeling a lot of energy here before I even pull the card. Feeling that this third quarter moon, especially coming off of this Four of Orbs, is going to also be a bit transitional, because you're going to really enjoy that time to just kind of be in your space, and you're going to recognize, ooh, I think I actually need to do more of this. I'm hearing that a lot of you are going to establish or set the intention to establish a new meditation routine, or I really enjoyed reading this book. I need to read more. Not of the book, just read more in general. So I'm putting it into my schedule now. I'm building it in. I'm building in this self-care time, this recharge time. So that is a positive that's going to come out of that Four of Orbs energy, is that you're recognizing, I want more of this. I want more connection with myself. And that is a huge part of your why. And I feel like the universe is kind of showing that to you. Spoiler alert. You're going to receive that on the flip side and go, yeah, you know what? I really need this. I need to be more present in my own life. We have Two of Chalices, so Two of Cups. So soulmate card, also a card of attraction. What are you attracting to yourself? And because you've come off of this Four of Swords and you've chosen to be and take a bit of a rest, now your energy is clear. That Pisces water has come through. You are clear. And because you are clear energetically, you have a clear channel to attract what it is that you need. And again, I mentioned to you that things were going to move pretty quickly once that choice was made. This is now saying, all right, we burned the stuff to the ground. The hard work is over. Now it's about manifesting and trusting what is coming through, and trusting that what you are attracting wants you too. So it's about, so when we talk about soulmates, we're talking about energy, between people or between beings, like I can have a soulmate. I had a soulmate dog, right? And he didn't use words, but I sure as hell knew what he was trying to say to me, right? So beings, but also I want to say to you, resource can be seen in sort of a soulmate kind of light as well. If you think about it, we have different soul contracts with our soulmates. They come in and out of our lives. Some of them are here for the lifetime. Some of them are here for a reason or a season. So are resources. And so if you're vibing into that frequency of, okay, I know my why, I'm recharged, the fire has been contained or it's controllable, I'm now able to use it like a campfire, use it rather than it's a forest fire now and it's out of my hands. And now I am clear on what it is that I want to manifest, what it is that I am co-creating. And so I can, think of these resources as soulmates. Because when we think about soulmate energy, we're like, oh, that feels so good. That feels like home. It's nice to feel seen. It's nice to be seen, to be understood, to not have to say a word and that other person knows. It's nice to laugh. Well, that's the best way to attract something to you, is to be in that space and that energy. So that's what you're being invited to do in that third quarter moon, is understanding, all right, all of this quickness has occurred so that I can be very clear and go right to the source of what it is that I need. Go right into that frequency and that energy without any self-doubt. It's just here for me. All right, and our affirmation. Interesting. Fruition. Rest assured, your dreams and visions will come to fruition. You can't make this shit up, guys. You just can't. Mic drop. It's exactly what we were talking about when it comes to that manifestation piece. And it's saying, yes, manifest, vibe high, get into that space, because everything is coming to fruition for you in exactly the ways that you are putting it out there. So be present, be very intentional about what you're putting out there. What is my why? And that's what I'm putting out there. My why is I need this and this and this for these reasons. Boom. There it is. Thank you, universe. Bring me more. All right. And now we are finally at our waning crescent. This is the 10th through the 13th of September. And the last part of our our reading. And I want to say I feel a sense of hope. Before I even know what the card is, I'm feeling a sense of hope. So once you've sort of connected to that soulmate energy of what you're attracting to yourself, there's a sense of hope and a sense of peace. It's like I'm relaxed because I know it's coming. So lean into that hope, because that hope is what is going to help you to stay out of the micromanaging of the universe and out of the when is it coming, and into the space of, yeah, I know it's coming, and I'm in that space of hope and anticipation and excitement. Ha! And we got the 10 of chalices, 10 of cups. Well, no wonder. It is the card of hope. It is the card of recognizing I've arrived at exactly what it was that I was looking for. This is the ideal concept of what I wanted to build, and I'm here now, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm grateful, and I'm also evaluating what is coming next. You know, what my cup runneth over, right? My cup is full and overflowing. And so how do I want to use this? You know, I'm generous, and I'm celebrating it with the people around me. I'm also planning for what can I take from this to build something new beginnings based on an already established foundation. So this energy here is very much, and we've got a rainbow, and a rainbow is the hope as well. This card very much is saying, trust. This work that you put in and all of the quick movement, and how interesting, we had flames and fire and action in the waxing phase, and now we've got a lot of the water in the waning phase, that Pisces. So we had the Leo new moon and the Pisces full moon, and this spread is reflecting that all over the map. Pisces is coming through and saying, yes, you've arrived, and it's time for a new cycle, a new pattern, a new approach to things from that perspective of, I see how it all played out, and I have complete trust that it all happened for my benefit on my behalf, and I have hope for this next cycle. I know that what I decide to implement in this next cycle is absolutely going to be the right path. It's going to bring about all of the, I want to say, the light that I have brought to the table, all that I have chosen to communicate into the world and chosen to contribute. It's here, and you know, you see this cup with the rays of light coming out of it. It's very much that energy of I am seen, I am heard, I am valued, I matter. So we come full circle. This is going to be a really powerful month, guys, and I know I talked a lot about, you know, there's some darker imagery here. There's a lot of fire, a lot of flame, you know. We love people with a ton of passion, but with that passion on the other side of it also can be like, if they're passionate against you, as well as, you know, you'd rather them be passionate for you because that feels really good. But if they're passionate against you, you're getting all that energy too, right? So there really is this, I want to say, this space of a lot of movement forward, a lot of quick clearing. Don't take it personally. See it for what it is. All of this has to go because all of this is what we want. This is the ideal situation and circumstance that we have been working towards. This is what you want. You don't want to always live in the shadow. You want to live in that ideal concept and proud of what you've created, the fruition of your dreams coming to life. Whew! All right, guys, that is our New Moon Musings reading for August 16th of 2023. I just want to let you know really quickly, I've created a new absolutely free Black Feather community. I'm going to put it in the link below. Would love to have you guys join. We do a Gathering of the Phoenixes live monthly event where we all get together and just talk all things tarot. It's an opportunity to meet people of like mind and like heart. That is something that a lot of my clients have been asking for years. I have no one else in my life that I can talk to about this. I feel so alone. If you can resonate with this, come join a Gathering of the Phoenix. You're going to find people of like mind all over the place. So go ahead and click on that. Again, it's completely free. We also do a Spread Your Wings challenge every month together to kind of deepen your practice or to give you a little bit of structure around your practice and to be able to do some light-hearted things to keep you on track with your fellow peeps. Sending you guys so much love, so much energy, and the ability to, I want to say, give the flame and receive the water, right? Be in that space of flow and balance and owning your visions, owning your desires, owning them like the emperor, owning them. Take up space and don't be shy. Don't be afraid to take up space. That's what it's all about this month. All right, guys, sending you all so much love.